We'll call the meeting of September 15th to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we do roll call.
Yes. Counselor Shriver.
Here.
Counselor Reynolds.
Here.
Mayor Burris.
Here.
Counselor Sandusky.
Here.
Counselor Torres.
Present.
Counselor Knopfinger.
He's excused. All right, would you like to do the proclamation or who was up, Brandon?
That's fine, I would love to read the proclamation. Well, that's been used this weekend, correct? Proclamation from the city of Tillamook, Constitution Week. Whereas September 17, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to read, study, and preach the greatest document of human liberty and to protect the freedom set forth in the Bill of Rights. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, we, the mayor and the council of the city of Tillamook, Oregon, hereby proclaim September 17th through September 23rd, 2025, to be Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. We do hereby proclaim this on the 15th day of September, 2025.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna try to get through this. I'm gonna see if we can do it. So this is a proclamation of the city of Tillamook honoring Dr. Paul Bitlinski. Dr. Paul Bitlinski, known fondly as Dr. B, has played a remarkable role in the lives of countless individuals through beholding, treating, supporting, listening, and nourishing, thereby building trust and demonstrating an unwavering devotion to the well-being of this community. I can't do it.
You want me to step in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried.
Thanks. Whereas Dr. Bedlinski's journey began in New York with his family later moving to Arizona, where his values of service, resilience, and compassion were nurtured alongside his two sisters, Sandra and Joyce, whose influence helped shape his steadfast character. And whereas Paul and his beloved wife Carolyn first met at Union University in Lincoln, Nebraska, she served as the school nurse, and Paul, fresh out of the army, was completing his pre-medical studies when a simple moment of sorting military medical papers eventually led to their August 1968 double wedding with her sister, a joyful beginning to a life of partnership and service. And whereas Paul graduated in 1970 and went on to Loma Linda School of Medicine, where he and Carolyn welcomed their first child, Jeanette Cherie. Their son, Jonathan Paul, was later born during Paul's residency at Florida Hospital in 1975, and their family was completed with the miraculous birth of their daughter, Janina Michelle, in Tillamook in 1980. And I apologize if I butchered any names. Okay. And whereas Paul and his family's service extended globally when they traveled to Botswana, Africa in 1975, facing challenges and blessings that shaped their lives and created lifelong friendships. This missionary experience enriched his practice of medicine with deep compassion and humility. And whereas in 1979, after founding a clinic in Northern California, Paul answered the call to serve at Tillamook Hospital, where his care, compassion, and leadership became a cornerstone of healthcare in our community. He later served at the health department and with remarkable compassion as medical examiner, where he comforted grieving families with patience, dignity, and understanding. And whereas across 52 years of steadfast service, Paul has worked long hours, made personal sacrifices, and consistently went above and beyond the call of duty. Yet even in the busiest seasons, he prioritized his children's recitals, games, and family events, arriving late at times, but always present and unfadingly devoted. He joined his daughter on horseback rides, though it wasn't his favorite pastime, reserved Tuesday evenings for small adventures such as trips to the library, and later made special effort to celebrate milestones with his children in person, showing that the compassion he gave his patients was matched by the care he devoted to his family. And whereas Dr. Belinsky's life of service has been grounded in his faith, nurtured by his participation in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and sustained by his relationship with God. Through this foundation, he has shared love and care with countless members of the community, mentoring young healthcare professionals, inspiring others, and offering hope to all he encountered. And whereas after decades of retiring every night, upon the approach of his 81st birthday, Paul decided at last to fully retire, leaving behind a legacy that cannot be measured in years, but only in the lives brightened and the families comforted and the love shared. And now therefore, we, the mayor and city council of the city of Tillamook, Oregon, do hereby express our profound thanks and enduring appreciation to Dr. Paul Belinsky for his invaluable and irreplaceable service. We hereby proclaim on behalf of the city of Tillamook, our community's heartfelt recognition, admiration, and love for Dr. B, for his service, his faith, his family, and the countless lives he has touched. And witness whereof, we, the mayor and city council of Tillamook, set our hands upon this 15th day of September 25 with deep gratitude and respect. Signed, the mayor and city council.
What can I say? Thank you all. Tillamook has been a fantastic place to live and be part of. The day I arrived, I have no regrets for being here at all. Thank you, all of you, for the part you played in my life also, and the part you let me play in yours.
I gotta say one thing. When we moved here, we have already moved, I think I counted 8 times. Paul said, don't settle in, we'll live in 2 years. And here we've been here. And you need to tell them about that.
This is my friendship. My friendship joined me when I transferred over to the health department. At least for members. My friendship was a way in. I would walk into a room, especially with a new child I had never seen before, and you know, children and doctors, they don't like doctors. But they would look at me, size me up, then they'd look at Chip. They look at me and they'll look at Chip. If they started reaching out towards Chip, I was in. We had a good entertainment with them, had been good with the But Chip was also great with the adults. If for some reason I didn't have a chip on my shoulder the day I walked in, they would ask, where's Chip? And Chip did one third thing that really has been a lot of feedback to me, express what I did here. Chip sometimes went home with very special people with very special problems. And really made a difference, and I heard back and that those chips over the years, appreciate that also. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Come forward and we're gonna present you with this framed plaque and we'll get a photo op with the city council and the mayor.
This is yours.
Oh, everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We gotta get.
Thank you for coming.
Oh,
This is- yeah, come on.
yeah, sure. Oh, look at it. Come on in. Come on, I do this. These are now.
So
Oh,
yeah,
you're good. Some stuff.
you're part of the council, so you take part of the photo op.
Get it up here. Get it up here.
This is great.
Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Nice.
I know we come in the middle of the night and. I don't.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, before you get too far though, the police department has to issue a citation.
Ready?
Yeah, and this isn't a normal citation, this is a kindness citation. It's a little token of our appreciation, Dr. B. Your kindness, your empathy, your sympathy shown, and your great care for us. As we saw some pretty horrible stuff together. You can't measure those things. This is just something for us that we wanted to provide to you. And so you can go on the back and scan that and, leave a note for us.
Nick, thank you.
No.
It has been an absolute joy to work with you and your staff.
Get it, picture.
I would say the Lone City has an exemplary police department. Yeah, I've worked with them over the years, a number of different situations. And they've never failed us in a problem. Yes.
Oh. Man.
Now we have to get on to the regular business of the meeting, so. President, thank you so much for being here, welcome to stay, but feel free to jet whenever you feel comfortable.
If I may, I'm gonna go decompress a bit.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
Now's your chance. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you got a place in your house for it, man.
There will be.
Don't do it, but it's under my building. Thank you so much. This is it.
You get the Woody Road back, sorry. I do, okay, I'm reading.
Oh, you did phenomenal. I didn't do
Yeah,
it.
you did great.
I don't think.
You
Thank
always,
you for doing that.
you always just calm.
Yes.
You was always calm and gentle.
Yep.
Always.
Get me reconnected. Owls in the middle of the meeting. Is it right? They lost connection. One is. All right. Are they working?
Before we go to the. We have a couple of.
He's pulling that. We are.
If you're here for the rest of the meeting, come on in and sit down and we'll get it going. Right there. Just having this. I was just thinking about it.
I know I have a question, but I'm not.
You'll have that. Okay.
Yeah, it's good to see that. That's fine.
I think we can do this. I think we're good. All right, next, we'll move to the public comment section. Or any person may address the council and being recognized by myself, however, topics which are under appeal or legal in nature cannot be addressed. Please state your name and address for the record, time is limited to 3 minutes per person. So this is your chance to talk to the council for anything on the agenda or off the agenda. Just come up to here and give us your name. You can have 3 minutes, so go ahead.
Where you going?
As you know, I've been here several times, and I want to thank our chief of police, Russell, for taking care of the motorhomes and the trailers that were on the stuff. And he's got another one to take care of now that his parking there, not there, but really has made a difference in our neighborhood. And I really want to thank him. And as soon as the last one was gone, he sent me a picture. So, thank you all.
I love it, thank you. All right, who wants to go next?
Do we just
Just come up today. Thank you. Say your name, then you get your agreement.
Hi, my name's Robin March and I'm a renter at Willow Apartments. And we have been having an issue with one of our tenants.
And every time we call the police, and it's no offense to any of the police. But every time we call them, there's nothing they can do. We need a solution to this. I'm 70 years old. And I'm the only one that basically stands up and calls the police and tells them the issue that's going on. And it just, something needs to be done to help us out, to help our manager out. You know, I mean, we've kind of, you know, we know there's probably no solution, but if the police could be a little more helpful with, you know, with the problem, that would be great.
Have you talked to the chief about it? To the trust?
Yes, she has.
Okay. And then do you know the city manager?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's your next stop.
Okay,
Yep. You can make an appointment to come talk to him.
okay,
I'll even come to you if you want.
okay, okay. That'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's fine.
Anybody else? Yep, come on out.
I don't know.
Hi, my name is Kathy Brunberg, and I'm the manager at the Wilderness Apartments for just over a year. So just to reiterate what she's saying, it's a mental health thing, so they can't, I don't know what they can do. So we've just been having issues, and there's only so much I can do. But when the guy's in crisis, we just don't know who to turn to, because the police do come every time. But they're like, and he's threatening, he has knife in his pocket, he has, I mean, it's scary. My poor residents, the older ones, the younger ones don't really mind, but, the older ones, it really scares them. And so we are stuck, we don't know what to do. I mean, can they put him in a 72-hour hold? We don't know.
So we can't discuss it, man, we can't discuss
Yes,
active
what,
situations,
Yes.
stuff like that in a public meeting like this. But as I gave your
Yes.
resident there, I will give you my card, give me a call, we'll set up a time that I can come and chat with you, or we'll bring Chief Troxel. And we'll go through what cannot be done, and appropriate methods to go through, and what the legal ramifications. Now, I understand we're not lawyers, we can give legal advice, but we can tell you what our guardrails are.
Yes.
And introduce you to some other people who may or may not be able to help.
and maybe we
in some
can have like a little
Well,
bullet meeting,
We
because
can have a
there's-
conversation, let's be as small as we can first, but then if we want to expand it and talk to the rest of the residents, but let's keep it small
Okay,
and
perfect.
stuff first, but happy to do that.
All right, and I love my job, I love the Willet, it's a beautiful complex. I've done a lot of cleaning up. As some of the neighbors that are around the Willet can testify to, but it has a bad reputation, and I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to make it safe for my residents and for the people that are our neighbors. And I mean, the people, it's low income, but the people that I have now, most of them are so grateful to be there and so appreciative of the new house and keep it clean and nice and I'm helping them learn how to do that, some of them, but so hopefully I can keep it going, you know?
Yeah.
I wanna stay, I wanna be a part of the community, and so hopefully it can work out.
We'll have a conversation.
Thanks.
Alright, thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Janice Ostermauer. This might be a city manager, what's the way you're looking at me already? I don't know.
No, I
Anyway,
have to turn the sheet.
I am asking, I'm gonna utilize my 3 minutes to see if I can get some sort of clarification on the number of hours that our police hours are suspended. I've heard various times, you all know what I'm referring to. I'd
So,
like to know, I'd like a little clarification on that and why that's occurring. Is it a done deal? I understand you are the one that would approve that. So if you could give.
Go ahead.
okay, So, Janice, there's a couple of things that go into that, and I may take a little bit long to explain this. First off, police schedules are, an effect of collective bargaining, so we have a police union that gets to set their hours. It's also an effect of budgeting, and then me as city manager, as the, per our town charter, I have full authority over deploying the employees, in the manner that we see fit. There were a couple of issues that came up. One was we had an officer recently resign, and he took a job in a different state. Because of budget deficiencies, we are anticipating that we would have to lay an officer off anyway, next year, just the budget realities that we have. So the decision was made not to backfill that position. As a result of backfilling that position, rather than paying a ton of overtime to our officers and stretching them even more, then at some points we have officers that are on duty 7 days a week. And I can't imagine anybody would want to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day at what can be a very stressful position. So in consultation with legal counsel, with the police union and their legal counsel and such, we asked the police officers to come up with a plan on how to do this. They presented a plan to us that was acceptable, and what it was is that, they would go on we schedule our police officers a month at a time. And there's a rotation that they can get into, so what we have is we have officers on duty from 7 AM to 3 AM every day. Now, a couple of weeks ago at our, city council meeting, we did present data about what happens between the hours of 3 AM and 7 AM. And what we found that over the last 3 years is that the calls for service, the calls that we would go out to respond to, we were getting 2 per month during those hours. Okay? It does not make sense for our police officers to be on duty and for us to pay for that time when they're not doing active policing work in the manner of responding to calls for service. Okay? With that, of those calls for service, 80% of them were false alarms for businesses. So meaning an alarm would go off in a business, our officer would show up, there would be no active scene or anything, it was just a triggered alarm, maybe a spider ran through it, maybe something happened, and that's where it was at. So
He
this,
used my 3 minutes, did he?
no, I'm giving you, I paused your 3 minutes at 2:27. So,
You're right here.
so with that information and the data and knowing that, how that works, we decided to go to an on-call from 3 to 7. So during the hours of 3 to 7 AM, we have officers. The officer that gets off at 3 AM is on call for 2 more hours. The officer that comes online at 7 AM is on call for the 2 hours before that.
So there's an overlap.
So there is no overlap.
Okay.
On call.
Who determines, the. So I understood some of the things that occurred during that hour would be addressed the next day.
Okay.
So who determines how catastrophic that
So
situation
when
is?
a call is placed to 911, they have a list of calls and things that are going, questions that they ask to determine life safety, right? So if somebody's bleeding, right? If there's an active shooter situation, if there's some sort of that, immediately 2 officers are dispatched out, okay? And people, we will get there as soon as we can. Our response time will be a little bit longer, but understand that even when we had 1 officer on during those times, when 1 officer is by themselves, they are not allowed by our insurance company or by best practices of the police to enter those active situations by themselves. They have to wait for a backup officer to arrive. So even when we only had 1 officer, our response time was still long for that backup to arrive for them to respond to that scene. So that's
Okay.
where it's at.
You've
Okay?
answered all my questions.
Yeah. So
How much do I have left?
You have 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Does anybody else want to talk about it? I'm gonna defer my 2 minutes to somebody else.
They have their
they
own,
get their own treatment.
they get their
Your
own
own
three
3
as well.
minutes? Well, then he gets 5.
Don't give Don 5.
Oh,
I own Birdie Comfort, on Birdie Comfort, I own Birdie Storm, sure, and if you're gonna come down, look at my camera. 2 to 7, that's what I get broke into.
Okay.
And they're cutting my fence, they're going in, breaking people's windows. I got several. I got over $500,000 worth of equipment sitting out there.
Yeah.
And not being tacked now for 3 to 7. Have you ever got out of bed in the middle of the night and not tell the police and drive around this place?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever got out of bed at 1 or 2 in the morning and drive around this town?
Not this town specifically, no.
Maybe you are.
I'm new enough.
This town has changed. Well, I've been down there watching that place.
Mhm.
And it's a different town. The bums are out. You know what? The restrooms are not open, so they're not eating,
Mhm.
and there's no service spaces. So what do you think they're doing? They're breaking into my lot. And we got them on camera, we caught them,
Mhm.
and these guys still don't do nothing. And now you're gonna take the police away. So that's gonna get around to them. And you think what they're gonna do? Oh, yes,
I'm not discounting that as a word.
so you have to get up at the night and not tell the police anything and drive around. You can drive any way you want, even now with the police on them. I watch my place at night, come down there, the police are sitting at 911 at 4:30 in the morning. I go home at 3, watching my property, and they're still sitting there. So your mouth let them off. But I'm not getting protected. And it's costing, it's hurting a lot of people. I have their cars in the yard, and so think about that when you let them go, because you haven't got money. I can know how to cut some of that, save money with the police department. Okay, that's it. I
Thanks,
go around, drive around town for a little bit.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Is that somebody wanting to
She's waiting. She's in.
She's meeting.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if they were for public comment. Anybody else for public comment? Right.
I would contend that Donnie's probably right, that between 3 and 7, they'll figure it out eventually, and they'll be back out.
Did you state, I'm sorry, Terry, did you state your name for the record?
Terry Groves.
Thank you.
So when this was brought up in the council, I asked Sean if, hey, if the data changes and we get more action. You know, at the time where there is no more patrol, then we adjust from there, and sounds like that, as soon as the data's not changing.
And I think that would be helpful to know, that can change eventually,
Or no,
if we need it. This is very informative, I like it. This is something I did not see a couple of meetings ago when we all talked about it. It was something I also did not see included in my last water bill. It's what I did see included in my last water bill, and it was talked about at the meeting I was at, that we were going to have what appeared to be one increase of 18% in our water bills. And I left here that night okay with it, 18%, that's fine, that's fair. However, when I learned a few weeks later that that was gonna be 18% for 5 years consecutively and compounded, that was about 125% rate increase, I wasn't really happy about it. And I'm not comfortable with everybody approving an annual consecutive 5-year sets of increases. I'm comfortable with doing a year at a time. You know, come back next year, talk about it, if everything's on track and if it's okay, raise them, but to commit to 5 years consecutively, I mean, I get it, it's only 35, 40, 50 bucks, whatever, but everything's going up. Then it's gonna be the sewer bills, it's our power bills. We just had PUD here a few months ago talking about rate increases. Every bill we've got's going up. The state wants to raise taxes. They want to raise vehicle registration fees. This is just one more raise. And we can't keep taking one more raise. And for commercial customers, this is gonna be very costly. And you know, I forget, Kathy, what you said, what much water bill was a month?
$5 grand.
$5,000. Now it's gonna be 10. In 5 years, I'm not comfortable with committing to 5 years. Do it a year at a time, figure something else out that customers can take, and I did talk about your water bill to a friend. And his initial comment was, it's subsidized housing, you know? So what, that means we're paying it. So I'm not only gonna pay my increase and paying yours too. That's not acceptable to me, and that's kind of where I stand. I just don't like it, and it was misleading. Very misleading. What we got in the mail was extremely misleading. And that's a bad way to build trust. Very disappointing.
Terry? Right. Anybody else? Is anybody online wanting to talk?
No.
No, okay. Last chance. All right, turn this off. Thank you, everybody. And we'll move on to. Let's see, we mixed this all up, so we gotta make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. Yep, are we gonna do minutes here? Let's
We
do
can do minutes at the end if we like.
minutes at the end. Okay, we'll do minutes at the end. We'll do reports. I don't have anything that I can remember right now. Department reports.
Let's skip all those.
So we're gonna skip. Finance, anybody have anything on what's in the packet? Do you have anything bad?
I don't. I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have training. We have Lee coming down to Tillamook on September 27th. It's that Saturday from 9:30 to 2:30. We have paid for the building and have it reserved, so
No check. September 27th, what time again?
9:30 to 2:30.
Thinking a lot.
It's their,
It's their city basics training.
it is for ethics, everything that we're kind of required to do.
We have to do certain trainings annually, and this is one of those that we felt and when it was brought up to the council and we all agreed that. Doing a 1-day Super Saturday type training rather than breaking it up over time would be beneficial, and you all committed to be there. Most of you anyway.
When was that? I don't remember committing to that.
Several times in August.
It was brought up
July.
in May and
You
June.
didn't commit to it. We did.
It's on my calendar.
It's on mine too. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, 9:30 to 5:30 at the port.
2:30.
Yeah, 9:30 to 2:30. Did I say 5:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 9:30 to 2:30 is 5 hours. It may end up getting out a little earlier.
Well, you're gonna have lunch or sandwiches or something, we'll have some lunch for you.
Yeah.
Maybe some bagels to start.
You think you might send out another reminder?
I will, don't worry.
I'll get a text message every day the week leading up to it.
Yeah.
Okay, planning commission, we're gonna skip that one, or did you wanna do those? Do we have a planning commission?
There was no planning commission meeting.
Tura? Welcome to the board, okay? Housing commission, she's not here. So now we'll go to the pending business. A request to approve resolution adopting 5-year water rate schedule for users of the city water system inside and outside of the city of Tillamook. And repealing resolution number 1754.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So a couple of things on this in the resolution, we did update the exhibits in there. This is at the request of Justin. When I met with him last week, and had a great conversation. Thanks for taking the time. He mentioned that all the numbers were a little bit confusing on there, so we did simplify that for the residential customers, because it is just the 1 per gallon and you do the multiplication. What we had done is multiplied that all out, but we could see how it was a little bit difficult to understand. If I could, Terry, I hear your comments and I will say that there was no malicious intent to be misleading. I can promise you that. We weren't trying to fully hide anything. We were busy.
I was here. I never heard once a mention.
Okay.
Consecutive years.
Okay, I'm just saying that.
It wasn't in my water bill notice either.
I appreciate, I'm not contending any of that. I'm
Every
just saying,
citizen in this town got the same notice.
we're not arguing the point, I'm saying there was no malicious intent. If we weren't misleading, I will own it, and I apologize. But there was no intent to mislead anything. The message that came in, and this is something that we want to be clear of. This was a report that was presented to the council in May, the first meeting in May, before I was ever even hired to be the city manager, okay? The report given by RCAC, and Tricia Kent from RCAC is here on Zoom tonight to answer any questions that the council may have. But the report from the council was that, or the report to the council was that in order for the fund to have proper reserves and to be solvent, water rates had to be raised every year for 5 years. In addition to that, as a part of the water project to move the water lines underneath the runways of the port, which has been talked about for a long time. This is using funds that were granted to the city. The city did not spend those funds until just now, or just in the recent months. Those funds have a due date, and in the time the delay, the cost of the project has gone up. We had to go out and get more funding. Again, this was started before my time as city manager. The funding that, when we went out to bid on that, we got back that we could not apply for grants. We could not apply for loans. Because our finances in the water department were not solvent and were not, we did not have income to make the bills. The only way we could get this project done is to get a line of credit. They call it a loan, but it works more like a line of credit through Business Oregon. This line of credit was approved just this week. We went up to Seaside for their meeting, and it was approved at $7.2 million. This is what we can use to finish that project. The condition of that loan is that not that we have to raise water rates every year, but that our fund has to be solvent. Okay, we have to have enough money and enough reserves that we can pay back that line of credit. If we don't accept this line of credit, there's no other money available to us, and we have to pay back millions of dollars that the city spent on engineering and design of that project that was part of the grant fund. So we're in a little bit of a quandary, right? I understand the consternation and the feeling from the community and from our council, who's expressed some of the same concerns, that we're playing fast and loose with everybody's money. I assure you, we are not. This ball was in motion long before I was hired here. You asked me to get it across the finish line. We've crossed the T's and dotted the I's. The line of credit will get us the water line moved and that project completed next year. Will allow us to keep the funds, the grant funds that we got, so we don't have to pay anything back with money that has already been spent. As a water user, I understand, and as a resident, I understand that everything's going up, right? Someone's gotta get it, and I understand that. I understand the frustration. I've been asked by the city council represents the residents to get this across the finish line. That's all I'm doing, and that's where it ends up. The decision is ultimately the city council's on what to do. We have presented a resolution for 5 years because that was the recommendation of our experts. The position has always been that in year 3.5 to 4.5, we would spend money or try to get a grant again to do a new water study to look at rates at that time to see where we go. The city has proved in the past that if we can lower rates, we will. We did that with the business community. Again, I wasn't here, I'm hearing this, so I hope I'm not telling a fib, but we have lowered rates in the past. So the question before the council is, we can go ahead with 5 years because you saw the math in everything. We are in the red right now, and we will remain in the red until year 5 without these types of increases. We've listened to the community in that maybe a 5-year increase isn't the best way to go. You are free to do this however you want. The idea that was presented was that this council as seated here tonight, would own this for the future. And this is a decision that you guys made for the benefit of the community so that we can have clean drinking water and continue to provide that to our residents, right? If you want to do a 1 year, great. It just means we have to come back in a year and do the same thing and listen to the comments again. You want to do a 3 year, great, we can do that. There was a question about the fundamentals of how the fund is structured with the flat rate being what we have to provide for overhead. That is the cost of everyone of doing business. That doesn't change. That is the cost of doing business. And then the consumption rate is the variable that as we serve more people or people come off, that goes up and down and fluctuates depending on usage and the need and the consumption. I think it's a little bit late to look at that for what we are faced with today. But if we want to have a conversation about that in the future, the time to do that is next time we do a water rate study, and it's up to the council's discretion. If you want to do a water rate study in a year and pay another $50,000 to $100,000 to do it because we won't be eligible for a grant again, we can do that. If you want to wait for 3 years and do a water rate study then and look at those balances, we can do that. I'm totally up to whatever you guys want to do. But this is where we're at. We have failing infrastructure. We are obligated to provide clean water to our residents and to our customers. We have to have a fund that is solvent. We cannot continue to deficit spend on our water. That's my presentation. Open to questions.
Go ahead. So why, we got the ARPA money for the project, the new pipes, taking us out or bringing the airport. We got that money back in 2021, is that correct? Why is it taking so long to, use the funds to complete the project? Like, I've never really got a straight answer on that.
Councilmember Torres, I don't know that I have a straight answer for you, and that is just because
I'm trying to blame you.
No, I understand. I've only been here for 4 months. I can't answer for what council or previous city managers did. Other than design takes time, engineering takes time. And there was, I do know that previous city managers were looking to get more funding to complete the project all at once without having to go get a loan. There was a hope, we had a commitment from Senator Merkley, I believe, to get some grant funds. That was pulled off the table a year or so ago, and we didn't get those grant funds that probably would have got us across the finish line. We've got another commitment from Senator Merkley for some more grant funds and put it into the spending bill at federal level again. Who knows if we will get that, right? But in the meantime, we have to spend the money or we lose it. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I ask the residents to spend upwards of $3 million that we don't have to pay back the ARP funds, or do I go out and go down the path that was started a year and a half ago?
So we couldn't just do, like they're talking about doing just part of the project, but that 12.5 million. I think.
I'm not sure, and I don't think it's effective for us to hash out scale back to the project because the project has to be done regardless. I can't sit here and redesign that project for you in the middle of this council meeting to see where those costs would come in. I don't have that in front of me. We do not have a plan right now to scale that back to just the 12 million, just because it just doesn't pencil that way. The project was designed for the full amount.
Okay, Sean wants to comment back to it, right?
Sorry. Yeah, so I can comment a little bit to that. So the original allotment of money that we used was the.
What's your name?
This hard. Oh, no, you are, you.
Yes.
This is public honors fair, public works.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself when you're speaking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So like I was saying, we got the original allotment of money. And so that was used up in engineering. The project started to scale down at once. The goal is to get it out from underneath the airport. So the project that's scaled down now will get us to that point right now. So there really is no more scaling back. We scale it back anymore. then we've really lost the whole intent of the project to begin working out and run, so. Yeah, how it's designed right now is part of it.
Thank you for the answer. I had just one more question.
Okay.
So if we're raising water rates 18%, would the general fund touch that additional 18%?
No, that's completely within the water fund and it's completely dedicated for water use. We cannot take that money and put it in the general fund. Those are two different silos and we have to keep the money for those locked uses.
Well, the general fund does charge like franchising fees and certain fees
Mhm.
to the both sewer and water. So I just wanted to know if we did increase rates 18%, I would wanna, make sure those went strictly to infrastructure, personnel at the water department. I don't think that the general fund should be able to touch those funds at all. And that was my contention during our budget committee meeting. So if we went through with this resolution, I would wanna safeguard those funds for, water department use only.
So as was explained during budget hearing and always, there's because City Hall and City Hall being utility clerks, me as the city manager, Jamie as the finance officer, HR, all those people that touch the water department. If we did not take those administrative funds from the water bill to the general fund, we would have to hire all that staff specifically for the water fund. Okay, so it would double the size of government and double the amount of money that we have to get out. Because we, as city hall staff, perform all those funds on behalf of the water fund. Because we do that, that's why you get that transfer. That transfer has not changed in how many years, Jamie? It's been 10 or 20 years.
I
That fund hasn't changed.
I work
So
in government, but I know that that's a way to supplement the general fund is by.
we are not looking to supplement the general fund with this. This is
Okay.
strictly for the water project to pay the debt service that this loan would create. That's what it is, and to
Well,
create
next
reserves.
budget hearing, I'm gonna compare and see if any more percentages are taken out to supplement the general
We'll
fund.
get there next budget hearing, but we don't anticipate that as of right now.
Okay, that's on the record.
Anybody else? Any thoughts, questions, comments? Well, I know that I've gone over this, I've talked to a lot of people, I've had a lot of people call, and 5 years is hard for me, we've talked about it many times, I mean. I don't have a problem visiting it every year, because like you said, if things change, if things come up. If we find differences on where we do for base rate, I mean, that's where I don't have a problem going over it every year. I don't know about the rest of the council, if we wanna do 3, that's up to the council, but.
I'm not here with 1 year, that doesn't. I don't wanna.
I would say 1 to 3. I think 5 is just too much.
And
I think what I thought when we all sat here and talked about the same thing again. Which is, do we do it 5 times in a row and make the citizens mad 5 times in a row? Or do we do it 1 time for a little while and make a vote? And they're gonna be mad for that because it's a higher percentage. But I think we need to rip the Band-Aid, as they say, and just go with that. And I think a lot of other people thought that at the time, thinking they had developed, but I'm just surprised.
I remember that differently, because I remember the conversation, this is what we were saying, was we were talking about raising it 5% and 10%, and then to the 18% at the beginning of the year. And the way I remembered it was rip the Band-Aid to just go to the 18%. That's the way I took that,
That's what I was trying to say.
not the 5 years. Is what I mean.
Oh,
I took it as,
correct.
yeah,
5 years.
Because, and that's how I remembered it, was just to do the 18%, which makes sense to me, but, okay, I
That's
just.
what I was trying to say.
Okay, just go ahead, I heard you wrong. So, I must have.
Oh,
Go ahead.
If I may, real quick, my name is Adam Nielsen. I just wanted to put out there in front of the council, I'm the project manager for the city. That for the state revolving fund, which is the largest grant source that I know of for $2 million. We cannot obtain those funds to further fix our infrastructure without being cash flow positive, which will not happen until year 5. Thank you.
I'm gonna make a motion. That we adjust. The proposal to do a 1-year increase of 18%. And that as a council, we come back next year and we revisit this.
Second.
Right. Moved and seconded for 1 year. Any further discussion?
Yeah, that's the question.
You may.
Okay, so we got this resolution forward. We're happy to amend it to meet the motion. I'm not trying to get around that at all. Do we have permission as part of your motion to enact and have the mayor come back and sign that without waiting 3 weeks for our next council meeting?
Oh, absolutely.
Just as a policy thing, so that
Consensus.
we can move on with that.
Yep.
And not have to come back and bring this back for another go around.
No.
At that
I
time.
okay with that.
Okay.
For
Perfect.
now, you said.
Thank you for the point.
Okay.
Torres was the second.
For a second. Yep. Any other discussion? Right. Questions called? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Passes by the council seated. Now, we have minutes. When we get back to that. We have the minutes for September 2nd work session. And then, can we do both the same? These have to be separate. These have to be separate though. Yes, these have to be separate. So the first one will be for September 2nd work session and regular session. Everybody go over those.
Move we approve the council minutes of September 2nd, both work and regular day.
Second. Alright, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Next would be correction of dates, check numbers and bill total from August 4th, 2025 regular session minutes.
No, I move that we correct the date, the check numbers and the bill total. From the August 4th, 2025 regular session minutes.
Second.
Alright, moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alright. Motion passes to approve those minutes. Now, do you see anything I missed since we went back and forth and all around?
No, I think you've got there.
Alright.
So
Do we
we
have
should be on correspondence.
correspondence? Yes.
And I have none other than the letter from the chamber that I presented on behalf of
Okay.
our rates that you all received via email.
Perfect. You have your section?
I do. I'll go quick. We are in the smack dab middle of our financial audit season. As you know, the city gets audited every year by outside auditors for our finances. They were here last week for the in-person portion, and we will get results of that mid-December, but we're smack dab in the middle of audit season. We do want to update that there were some sign changes at Hope Horton and She Park at the request of Councilmember Schreiber. Public Works did go out and put up a barrier in front of the restroom saying that they were closed due to vandalism, in hopes that people wouldn't just stop there and then have to go so bad that they just get out of their car and go behind the building and do their business there. So as part of a 3-year review, CIS, which is our insurance company, we completed our risk management review. They have just forwarded our review that we passed with most everything with a couple of tweaks, and we'll bring some of those tweaks to you in the future as need be. But a couple of things that we need to work on there, nothing major, but so far by doing these reviews, our rates tend to stay the same rather than go up. A couple of opportunities to volunteer for the council. We have a need for FEMA NIMS training. This is the National Incident Management System. When FEMA declares a disaster or stuff like that, we have to have 2 people who are trained in their systems. One is usually the city manager, so I will be going through this training, but they request that an elected official take be the second that takes the training. So I need somebody to volunteer, or I will volunteer somebody. But we need somebody to volunteer to do the FEMA NIMS training with me.
When is it?
We can set it up. It's at your leisure. We can set it up and get the dates. I just need to know who wants to do it.
How long is the training?
It's like 8 hours, but I think we can break it up. It's not a 1 day. Brian, it's not like a 1 day
It's a lot.
thing. I think we can break it up over several days.
Still gonna run for office, Justin?
Well. I can do it if nobody wants to do that.
So.
Okay. Okay, and just remember that, if somebody is not, on the council and our NIMS training goes away, somebody else has to do it the next time, so just keep that in mind. We also are convening meetings for a code revision. So what this is working with the departments internally to go line by line, section by section through the entire city code. We're not gonna hire a consultant. We're planning on taking several months / years to do this. But as a representative for the residents, we are asking that a city council member participate in our process. What we're doing is we're just kind of looking at the code, looking at what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Does this need to stay here? Does this meet state law? It's kind of we talk about it internally. We propose changes to the attorneys. We get that back. We talk about it internally. We bring stuff to the planning commission if needed. We bring it to you when it's ready for prime time. And then we can go there, but just having somebody that can sit on the meeting. We're meeting once a month, maybe a little bit more. But it's generally gonna be in an afternoon on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but we can adjust that for your schedules. I know that disqualifies a couple people, but just, and this is not a must. We just thought it would be nice to have a member of city council so that when we bring the stuff to the city council for adoption, when it's ready, that it's not a shock and that council member can relay back and forth.
Only if we had somebody that's retired. He's on fair.
This is our city code. So just meeting here at City Hall with, talking about city code for months on end.
Do we wanna wait and, oh, never mind, if you're thinking you wanna do it. Well, who wants to do that? We could wait until Garrett and we fill position 2.
We'll talk about position 2 in just a minute.
But that's, if you don't need an answer for that one tonight.
We don't need an answer tonight, but, and we will be doing this process whether or not the city council wants to send a liaison. We just wanted to be at the very forefront of this, provide that opportunity, so that the city council can come to us and say, what are you doing? What's going on here?
And since Garrett's not here, if we just appoint him to it.
You can.
He's on fair.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay, so this is just an idea that I have. This came up on our city manager's group chat. About youth city council. Now, some cities have a fully functioning youth city council that does service and stuff like that. But there are smaller cities that rather having a full youth city council program, which is very difficult to get going and do. They have an honorary youth city council member, usually a high school student, that gets appointed to come and sit in on all the city council meetings, and they get an honorary vote. It doesn't count for anything, but they get a chance to sit here for a semester or a year and see how the city functions. And I just
Great.
want to know if that's something that we want to support and maybe institute. And maybe if we had a civics teacher at the high school that may be willing to recommend a student or two. I know we have an employee that may have a student that wants to do an opportunity to help us develop the program and kind of see what it would look like and do something. Would you be interested in helping us with that?
We can do that.
Okay, so if that's the case, Councilmember Rounds, I'll get with you offline and we can talk about what we're looking for and how we want to move forward with it.
Okay.
And we could even get them a nameplate and they can sit over here in the spare chair that is next to Councilmember Knoxon here.
Right.
On that. Okay, You're just trying to get the youth involved
I
with
agree.
the city. Okay, now the 800-pound gorilla in the room, other than water rights.
Oh, wait, can I say one thing before we move on?
You may.
to the
It's your meeting.
Cause I forgot that I was gonna do this. Any parents of seniors at the high school, there's always room for help with safe. So Dee Upton, if you can get a hold of her, which everybody can get a hold of Dee Upton. Get a hold of her if you wanna volunteer your time for anything and to help out, so.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good.
Despite our best efforts, as of today, we have not received a single application for the Ward 2 vacancy. We've advertised this on social media, we've sent mailers to every resident in the ward. And we don't have a single application. The council has some leeway here. You are free to determine the rules and per our charter, you can appoint whomever you want. However, our charter also has a conclusion that anybody that doesn't live in Ward 2 automatically has to come up for review by the council. So the theory is that you have to live within the boundaries, and our legal counsel has told me that that is what we have to do. So I'm gonna put the appeal out to the council to glad hands, talk to your friends and neighbors, find somebody that lives in Ward 2 and let's get them in here. But until we have somebody, that seat remains vacant and there's not much we can do about that.
That has to be in that ward.
They have to live in that ward. Because our charter says that if you don't live in your ward, if the council can eject you and it's an automatic thing.
Can you email us the map, the current map?
Sure,
For that, please?
sure.
And whatever the notice was that you sent to all the people in the board.
Yeah,
Like the votes.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
happy to do it.
Thank you.
That's my report, Nick.
That's yours? All right, we'll do council comments, start on the left this time.
Okay, so I brought this up to Sean and Chelsea about, I believe we're in God we trust. We passed a resolution saying we're in God we trust city. I think part of that resolution is we plan on getting in God we trust signage and then putting the half-built eagle below that. Do we got any plans for that?
So we discussed this just today in our staff meeting. The biggest problem that we have is that eagle is really, really heavy. And we're really worried about it falling if we hang it on the wall. So what we talked about today is maybe taking and getting a floating shelf that could be a little bit more robust than just hooks. Putting the eagle standing on the shelf and maybe engraving on the shelf, on the mantle, if it was like a mantelpiece in God We Trust or something to that effect. That was kind of the latest idea, but that's the worry is we don't want to hang that above you, Councilmember Torres, and have the building just settle at anything and have the thing fall down unexpectedly. So, but we do want to comply with that. We do want to get something going. The eagle is still in my office where I inherited it. But it is super heavy and I just don't think hanging it on the wall would be anything safe. So,
What about signage, like some sort of like signage in God we trust, something like classy that. You know,
Yeah, would-
the designer would pick out.
If I may, so I proposed the idea to the wood and the metal shop at the high school to see if they can help out with this.
oh, sure.
And use it as like a student project to come up with an idea. And so if you give us a little time, I might be able to refresh something up there.
I'm good with that.
Okay, that's awesome. Good.
Anything else? No, that's it.
All right, nothing tonight.
I don't have anything tonight.
I appreciate the barriers at the restroom. I just felt really bad for people. They get out, some people are handicapped and, you know, they need to go. I know what it's like to need to use the restroom, so I appreciate that. I didn't see him the first, I was just kind of looking for a sign and then the next day were cement blocks. So it was good.
I want to backtrack. I do have one thing, and that is I want to thank everybody for coming here and sharing your thoughts. Not just on the water rate increase, but just in general. It's nice to have people here participating in government. That's what I tell my kids in the class all the time, that they need to become lifelong participants, whether it's voting, running for office themselves, writing letters. That's how we get things done and get it done right. And if it means that we postpone a few actions a little bit, so that we can take a longer look. I think that that's best. We need to listen to our residents. We'll come back. We may have to get you 18% next year anyway. We don't know, but we'll address it. And we'll do what's best for the city, because this is our time to.
Oh, sorry, person.
Anybody want to make a motion to pay the bills? It's not so much. I move to pay the bills. Okay. Thank you.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded to pay the bills. Could you please vote council?
Yes, Counselor Shriver,
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds,
Aye.
Counselor Sandusky,
Aye.
Counselor Torres,
I thought you said. I.
All right. So it's passed by the council. On that, we will adjourn.
I said Aaron first.
So, person.
Oh, Mayor, I forgot one thing, I'm like, don't reopen the meeting. I'm attending the Coastal Caucus Economic Summit next week.
Okay,
So I will be out of the office on Thursday, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, is Tuesday. And then the following week is LOC. So
okay, sounds good. All right.